easy is it for you to be tricked? Most of us think that we're fairly smart people and we can figure things out. So let me run this simple elementary story problem by you and see if you get the right answer. Now before we begin this word problem, I feel like I need to let you know that I didn't get the answer to this problem the first time I went through it. So here we go. A bat and ball cost $1.10. The bat costs $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? If you answered that the ball cost 10 cents, you're wrong. Don't worry, like I said, I got it wrong the first time too. This is a very simple word problem, and yet, when presented with just words as a word problem, most people get it wrong. If you could get something this simple wrong, could you have more important things wrong, like your belief about our Messiah? Now, if you're still scratching your head over how much the ball cost, hold on until the end and I will give you the answer. My name is Chad Gleaves. For the past 10 years, I was content to work at a Southern Baptist church. I worked with a fantastic staff, a pastor who had been at the church for over 35 years, and all of my friends went to this church. I knew my job and I was respected in my field. Over the last 5 years, God began to work on my heart and show me things that took my breath away. It was with the heaviest of hearts that I came to these realizations that I will be sharing with you today. For me to be able to share these lessons with you, I've had to sacrifice my job, security, my belief systems, a few friends, and at times my sanity. There were times where the pain seemed overwhelming as I unwrapped the prison of lies that I had been chained in. There's no happiness in me as I share this, but there's a great deal of joy as I have the opportunity to introduce to you the true Messiah of the New Testament, the real Messiah that is described in the Bible. My personal satisfaction does not come from tearing down beliefs, but my satisfaction would come from seeing you introduced to the true Messiah of the New Testament. Is it possible that Jesus could have been misrepresented to you? Could some of your beliefs be wrong? Let's examine Jesus Christ and see if it is the same person who is described in the New Testament. Let's put Jesus Christ up against the only description we have of the Messiah, the Bible. The New Testament is kind of like a missing person report. It tells us the characteristics and identifying markers that make up our Messiah. Let's examine these identifying markers and see if they describe Jesus Christ or someone else. Speaking of different identifying characteristics, how many identifying characteristics would you need before you decided whom was an imposter and whom wasn't? Let's take your child for instance. How many identifying characteristics can be wrong before you decide that this was not your child? Would you be okay if you lost your child and the child they presented to you had a different name? Or what if the child claimed to have a different birthday? Or if the child looked totally different than your child? We would all immediately say that only one identifier is necessary to tell if this is my child or not. We know our children and we can tell who our children are immediately. Let's examine this closer with a short story. What if you had a 16-year-old daughter who had been kidnapped? You didn't see it happen, but after your daughter did not show up, you call all her friends, and with no results, you decide it's time to call the police. After a few hours, you fill out a missing person report. With a city police officer, you write down 16 years old, red hair, blue eyes, freckles, weight is 117, height is 5'6", and her name is Rebecca Davis. Birthday is April 5th. At the end of 4 excruciating days, you are frantic and all you can think about is your little girl. Every moment feels like an eternity as you worry and long for your daughter. The cell phone finally rings and a detective says, "We have your kid." Oh, the joy, oh, the relief. The detective, as a formality, starts describing your daughter. Just to be sure this is your teen, let me describe her to you. The detective begins by saying, "The girl we have here is 15 years old." What, you say? No, my daughter's 16, but go on. The detective continues. She has brown hair and brown eyes. She's 5'2" and weighs 165 pounds. She has a blue t-shirt on and shorts. No, you say, that's not my daughter. Wait, we know this is your daughter, and we can see on her ID card that we found in her pocket, it says her birthday is June 26th. Is this a joke, you say? None of this describes my daughter, but she says she's your daughter. All of the police think she is your daughter. I feel like she's your daughter. She must be your daughter. No, there's not even one thing about that girl that describes my daughter. I imagine at this point that you would be so disgusted that you would probably end the call with something like this: "Don't call me back unless you have a teen with even one of the descriptions exactly as we wrote down on the missing person report." The question here is, how many identifiers are necessary to make sure we have the right missing person? I would submit that the answer is all of them. The Bible describes our Messiah in great detail so that we would not miss him. The Bible gives us characteristics like his name, his birthday, his goals in life, his Sabbath, and his laws. If you are serving the correct Messiah, then this video series will not challenge your faith. It will reinforce your faith because we are simply going to examine the Bible. But if you are serving the wrong Messiah, wouldn't you want to know who the true Messiah is? Let's go back to our story of the lost daughter. Let me ask you, how many characteristics specifically would you need to be wrong for you to know you had the wrong child? 1, 2, 3, 5. I would venture you would say 3 or less. A different name could be the result of a simple mistake. 2 characteristics such as a different name and birth date would make it highly unlikely, and 3 things would make it near impossible. For example, name, birthday, and nationality. Having 5 characteristics wrong is almost laughable. No one would even consider it being the same person. What if I were to tell you that I will show you 5 differences between Jesus and the true Messiah of the New Testament? I'm about to discuss 5 characteristics that seem to show a difference between Jesus and the true Messiah of Scriptures. And, in fact, Jesus and the true Messiah may be 2 different people. Number 1, his name. The true Messiah of the New Testament would go by the same name the disciples used, his Hebrew name, which is Yeshua. I can hear what you're thinking right now. Jesus is a transliteration and therefore it's been changed over time, and it's an honest mistake. I'm with you, absolutely. I think it's an honest mistake also. If that was the only difference between Jesus and Yeshua, I wouldn't be here today. But I have to bring this to your attention or I wouldn't be covering all the material honestly. I'm okay with a transliteration difference, but you need to see what Yeshua wants to be called and where we should be putting the emphasis and efforts of our faith. 2, his birthday. The true Messiah of the New Testament was not born on December 25th, but rather, after looking at all the evidence in the New Testament, was most likely born in September or early October. On the other hand, Jesus Christ was born on December 25th, which is the same day as 13 other false deities. Why would God our Father have his Son born on a pagan holiday? Number 3, his goals. The Messiah of the New Testament, Yeshua, has come to put the laws of God into our hearts, including all of the 10 Commandments and all the laws in the Old Testament. Jesus Christ, on the other hand, has come to set us free from the law. So the goals of the true Messiah are different than the goals of Jesus Christ. Number 4, different Sabbath days. The true Messiah of the New Testament honored God's Sabbath day. In contrast, Jesus Christ came to set up a new holy day called Sunday. Sunday is the holy day of the Roman sun god called Mithra. How could the sacred day of the sun god make it into the church? It may come as a complete surprise at the similarities between the Roman god Mithra and Jesus Christ. They are absolutely staggering. Number 5, different sets of laws. The true Messiah of the New Testament obeyed the laws of God, the God of the Old Testament, and encouraged others to do the same. The Bible describes a very dark person called the Antichrist as the one who is without the law or without the teachings of God. It is the Antichrist who wants us to disobey God's laws. Here is the hard question that I don't want to ask. Does your Messiah, Jesus Christ, look more like the Antichrist or the true Messiah of the New Testament? Does your Jesus tell you to ignore God's teachings that are found in the first 5 books of the Bible? If you said yes, then the Old and the New Testament may be describing your Messiah differently than you would expect. I know that at this moment you may have thoughts running through your head like, isn't this teaching heresy? How can anybody challenge that Jesus is not the Messiah? I should just walk away. Don't walk away. This may be the most important teaching you've ever heard in your life. Invest the time to make sure that you are serving the right Messiah. If you already understand the New Testament correctly, then I will only strengthen your faith. But if you have been mistaught or if you have misunderstood the New Testament, then you have eternal rewards at stake, and you may have your eternal life at stake. If you remember, I asked you a question about a bat and a ball at the beginning of the lesson, so let me give you the answer. The question one more time is, a bat and ball cost $1.10. The bat costs $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? The problem doesn't say that the bat costs exactly $1, just that it costs an additional $1. So if the bat costs 10 cents, you'd be paying $1.10 for the bat alone. Instead, the ball has to cost 5 cents so that you are only paying $1.05 for the bat. The real answer to this problem is a matter of perspective. It depends on how you break it down. I'm not here to attack your Messiah, Jesus Christ. I will break down the New Testament and show you what the true Messiah should look like from a biblical point of view. I want to introduce you to the true Messiah of the New Testament, Yeshua. If you want to look at the 5 differences between Yeshua and Jesus Christ, let me take you on a journey as I examine each of these differences in great depth. To get this entire series on DVD for your home or to give to a friend, be sure to visit my website, chadgleaves.com, to purchase this today.